I wasn't invisible, I was ignited. They never asked about the scars. Not once. Not when I showed up with my right hand bandaged in white gauze, nor when I stopped using my left arm to lift anything heavier than a coffee mug. They just stared, as if I'd betrayed some sacred family code, as if I'd abandoned a legacy they'd pinned their pride on. I'm Lila Carver, and in my family, silence wasn't just preferred, it was demanded, especially from the one who strayed from the script. My sister, Dr. Lila Carver, was the star, chief surgeon, wearer of tailored blazers, the one who could make Dad grin by citing medical journals. Me? I was the one who taught kids how to build shelters in the wild. What they never asked, what they never cared to know, was that I left the fire service after 15 years because I nearly died saving a stranger from a burning warehouse in Tucson. 15 years, 5 commendations, 1 trauma that rewrote my nerves. Not once did they ask why I walked away. Instead, they murmured about my aimless life, gave tight smiles when I mentioned my wilderness survival classes, and made quips about campfires and s'mores. So I stopped explaining. I stopped expecting. I moved to Denver, rented a loft above a bike shop, and taught teens how to survive when the world turned cruel. I told myself it was enough, until one night, at a banquet I never wanted to attend, a stranger's question lit a spark that burned through the silence. It was 2017, a derelict warehouse on Tucson's outskirts, flames clawing the sky. The call said it was empty, old machinery, no souls inside. We were exhausted, our 4th blaze that week, but protocol demanded a sweep. My gut screamed to double-check. That choice changed everything. Inside, the smoke was a wall, thick enough to choke your thoughts. The ceiling creaked, ready to cave. My flashlight barely pierced the haze, but then I heard it, a low groan. Someone was alive. I found him crumpled near a rusted conveyor, face ashen, suit charred. He was barely conscious, muttering nonsense. I didn't know him, but I wasn't leaving him. I hooked my arms under his, dragged him through the heat, my right hand searing as a falling ember bit through my glove. A steel beam crashed behind us, spitting sparks. I don't remember the door, just the rush of cold air and my knees hitting dirt. I woke in a hospital, my hand wrapped, nerves fried, the news calling me unidentified firefighter, critically injured. 9 months of rehab followed, skin grafts, therapy to grip a pen again, nights haunted by the roar of flames. I didn't return. No ceremony, no farewell. I sent my badge back with a note, I'm done. Then I vanished to Denver. Now I live above a bike shop on Colfax Avenue, running survival workshops for schools and youth groups. I teach kids how to splint a fracture, signal for help, escape a burning room. They call me Miss Lila. They don't ask about the scar snaking up my forearm or why my right hand trembles. They just want to know how to survive. My family? They never visited during rehab. Elise sent one text, "Good you're alive." Nothing more. Mom and Dad were busy. I told myself they didn't know how to handle it, but deep down, I knew they didn't want to. They never heard about the $200,000 state grant for extraordinary bravery, never saw the Tucson Tribune's front page with my soot-streaked face, helmet off, cradling a stranger. I never told them. When someone sees you as a ghost, even your loudest truth feels like a whisper. I didn't want to go to the banquet. Mom's email came 3 days prior, brisk and pointed, dinner Saturday, the Ivory Room. We're celebrating Elise's award. Dress appropriately, no campfire tales. As if my life was a quirky hobby. But I went. I always did. The venue was all crystal and velvet, a world of wealth I didn't fit. My gray dress was simple, my boots flat, my left knee still ached from long shifts. Elise shone at the head table, Dad in his stiff suit, Mom in her sapphire necklace. I was seated at the edge, next to an uncle who mispronounced my name and a cousin who asked, "So, you teach, like, hiking safety?" I nodded. First aid, evacuation, wilderness survival. He chuckled. Like scouts, but with bandages? The table laughed, not mean, just dismissive. Wine flowed, toasts were raised, Elise gave a speech, polished, perfect. No one asked me to speak. Later, alone in my loft, I pulled out the grant letter, still sealed, next to a faded news clipping. My face, raw and tired, stared back, the stranger's arm slung over my shoulder. I tucked it away, turned off the lamp, and felt the weight of being unseen. Elise called a month later, voice bright. "There's a first responders gala. You should come. Be visible for once." I sensed the catch. "Mom suggested a nice dress," she added. I went, but on my terms, wearing my old fire jacket, the one that still smelled faintly of ash. The ballroom sparkled, all gowns and champagne. I lingered by the wall, clutching seltzer, when a man approached, gray hair, sharp suit. "Lila Carver?" I nodded. "I'm Dr. Martin Voss. Tucson, 2017. You pulled me from that warehouse. You said, 'Stay with me.' I've never forgotten." My breath caught. Later, during his keynote, he paused. "There's a hero here tonight. Lila Carver saved my life. She carried me out, took no credit, accepted a $200,000 grant she never spent. She's the kind of courage we don't see." The room turned. Elise's smile froze. Mom's hand twitched. Dad looked away. I stepped into the light, not for applause, but to exist. Days later, a text from Elise, "Dinner at ours. Just family." I hoped it meant something. The table was warm, a banner reading our star. But then Elise leaned in. "I'm starting a trauma clinic. Your grant could fund it." The air shifted. "It's not a family fund," I said. "It's mine." Silence. Mom's smile tightened. "It's for the greater good, Lila." I left early. Then it started. A Reddit post, "My sister hoards a $200,000 hero grant while we struggle." No name, but Elise's cadence was unmistakable. It spread, tabloids, blogs, a headline, "Hero to Zero, Firefighter Hoards Cash." My classes emptied. Parents pulled kids. Then my loft was broken into, safe cracked, grant letter gone. A note inside, "Share, or we choose for you." I met Dr. Voss at a diner. He handed me a folder, forged bank slips, security footage of Elise at my building, the Reddit post traced to her hospital IP. "Press charges," he said, "or let it bury you." I chose the courthouse. In court, Elise looked small. The evidence was ironclad: fraud, theft, defamation. She'd siphoned $180,000, claiming it was for charity. I spoke. "I'm not here to ruin my sister. I'm here because silence made me invisible, and I'm done hiding." The judge ordered restitution, her license suspended, therapy mandated. No prison, but enough to sting. With the remaining grant, I founded Ember Haven, a center teaching teens to survive, not just fires, but shame, doubt, betrayal. A girl asked, "Miss Lila, are you afraid of fire?" I smiled. "Fire's just a teacher. It shows you what matters." Dr. Voss sent a pendant, a tiny flame etched inside. "We rebuild together," he wrote. A letter came from my parents, "We see you." I set it aside. I wasn't their shadow. I was the flame.